Hi, everyone. Friday is here. Hi there. I am live. We're going to have a little conversation first before we jump into live Q&A, but I'm going to give you guys all a minute to pop in here on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Hello, everybody. Good morning. If you have a second, say hello, good morning, give me a yay, a thumbs up. Let me know that my tech is all working well. I have someone barking at me who obviously wants to say hi. You want to open it up today, Piggy? All right, Piggy's opening it up today. She was over here grunting. Yeah. You want to say hi? Good morning from Piggy. My post yesterday, she was not the best backup dancer. No, she's more a photo bomber, aren't you? So, yes, this is my trusty assistant here today who was ready to take a nap as we started. So I guess I'll let her do that. Oh, it is getting warm here in Phoenix, Arizona, hence the shorts and tank top. My office is right by a window. And so I love being able to look outside, but it gets really hot in here. So I have the air conditioning running and dressed like I'm sitting out in the sun. So I hope you will all forgive me. Hello, Piggy. Yes, Piggy's very tired. There she is. Are you tired? She's looking at me like, seriously. So anyway, I want to open up today with the topic of fake meat. You guys cool with that? When I was going through my news stories, that I like to go through before I jump on here, one of them was, is fake meat actually beneficial for you? And this has been something that I've talked about for years. And what's kind of honestly annoying me a little bit about some of the plant-based documentaries that are coming out because they're embracing fake meats. And as you guys may know, I am incredibly plant-focused in my own diet, right? But I'm always a proponent that not every single person fits into the exact same box when it comes to diet. We can't because we have different genetics, different microbiomes, different exercise levels, right? It's like saying you just give a hormone and it'll help. Well, if you're not active, it won't. It'll store, right? The body, each individual vessel has a different metabolism. It has a different background. It has different limiting factors. It has different environments, right? So for all of us to say, well, we all fit into the same box for diet, I've never bought into that. And many of you ask me, knowing that I'm plant-focused, oh, does that mean if I work with you, I have to go vegan? No, absolutely not. But I do want to say there is a huge benefit with eating plants. And I know there are carnivores out there that completely disagree with me, and that's cool. That is your thing. But I want to talk about this fake meat thing because one of the things that has been constantly sent to me is like, hey, Dr. P, what'd you think of this documentary? What'd you think of this documentary? Oh, did you see the thing on this and that? And looking at actual health benefits and longevity from plant-based diets, there is a huge difference between a plant-based diet that's actually plants and a plant-based diet that's full of, chemical crap meat. And this article I was reading said, well, they followed a group that ate meat and they followed a group that ate fake meat. And they didn't see much difference in the fake meat people as far as numbers. In fact, the animal fat people did better. So a lot of the carnivores take this data and say, oh, see, meat is better. Meat is better. And I say, wait a minute. They compared it to eating junk food. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm going to be flat out here, but those fake meats are junk food. They are not good for you. They never have been good for you. And if you really, really, really want meat, then eat it. Eat actual meat, grass-fed meat. Don't eat fake meat. In fact, one of the things I always laugh when I go to restaurants and they're like, oh, we have the Impossible Burger. You'll love it. It tastes just like a hamburger. And I'm like, well, then I definitely don't want it because I don't have any interest in eating a hamburger. If I want to eat a hamburger, I just order a hamburger. I want vegetables. I want sweet potatoes. I want butternut squash. I want spinach. I want Brussels sprouts. I want broccoli. If you're going to put protein, I want things made out of lentils and mushrooms and, garbanzo beans and bad black beans and actual food, right? And if you have that, I don't just want a hamburger. If I want a hamburger, I just order one, right? So I think what's happening is we're starting to think that because we remove it, we're supposed to add in fake chicken, fake fish, fake meat. And these things are made out of chemicals. And you might as well eat, a bag of Doritos, right? So I want to talk about that because I think a lot of people get confused when I even talk about plant-based. How many of you have tried to go plant-based, but you're using fake meats and you find you don't see any difference? Anyone? Or that you feel worse? Or that your cholesterol doesn't change? Anyone? Because I do get this quite often in my programs. People are like, oh man, I tried to go plant-based, but I'm gaining weight. And I'm like, well, what are you eating? And they're like, well, I bought it in the Impossible meats and the chickens and things like that. I'm like, well, yeah, right? That's not working. Plants mean plants. You guys want to talk about this or no? Good topic, no topic? I always call it a bad vegan. Now I'm going to call out someone that I love very, very much, who I'm sure is watching the live just for a moment. I'll leave her unnamed, although she'll know who she is. Very, very close friend of mine who in high school went vegetarian. Okay. And didn't want to eat any meats and wanted to do this health kick type thing, or didn't want to do all of that, and literally ate French fries and ice cream pretty much every day. And that is not going to work. It's not going to work, right? They may be vegan ice creams, but that doesn't mean that they're healthy. So what's happening and what I'm seeing in the processed food market is I'm seeing that people are labeling it vegan, non-GMO, maybe organic, natural, and you're thinking it's healthy. Not necessarily. Make sure you're looking at labels and stick with whole foods. A natural veggie burger, a wholesome, healthy veggie burger is really easy to make. If you guys want some brands that I love that you could try, one of my favorites is No Bull, B-U-L-L, No Bull. That's a great veggie burger. I also, Actual Veggies is pretty darn good as well. Those are ones that don't have anything in there but plants. I hope that helps. All right. Any questions on the fake meats? Anyone want to ask? Because everyone's like, what do you think of the Impossible Burger? What do you think of the Boca Burger? What do you think of, Garden Burger? They're all junk. If you read the labels, they're junk. And how Impossible has taken over the world is beyond me. And how it's being shown in documentaries and saying that people get better and lose weight and improve stuff with it. No, it's the exercise of those programs that did that. It was not the Impossible Burger. I can guarantee you, if anything, the Impossible Burger actually held them back from even more potential that they had. Anytime somebody takes control of their health, exercise, does mindset exercises, cleans up their diet, they're going to have a benefit. And granted, it's a first step, right? But you could get so much further if you just skip over that. If you're going to go plant-based and you're really trying to go plant-based, go the right way, right? If you're really craving extra protein in the middle, and I say this to people in my program all the time, because my program is about 85-90% plant-based recipes, whole plant-based recipes. There are some meats in there, but sometimes they're like, wow, I feel really protein deficient. And I'm like, great, add a little bit of chicken, add a little bit of egg. It's okay. But keep the vegetables in there. Let your body get used to this new lifestyle. Replacing it with something fake is not going to end well, right? Okay. Naya says fake meats are full of inflammatory ingredients. They are. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I don't think they taste good either. Now, they very well may taste like beef. I honestly have no idea. I haven't had red meat since I was probably 10. I don't remember what it tastes like. And I don't really care. And it's kind of like the cheeses. There are some brands that are very clean, that are nut-based, very clean. There are a lot that are not very clean. Daiya is not a good option, kids. Read the label. You'll be like, what is that? It's chemicals. We have enough chemicals, yeah. So if you're trying to go plant-focused, plant-based, you're looking for recipes, check out my website. None of my recipes use fake meat. And look to things that are more root vegetables. I always find when you're starting out, look to avocado and sweet potatoes. Those always fill you up. Lentils are a great option, a really great option. And there are so many different varieties of lentils. So you can play with a bunch of different stuff. They're actually really easy to make. People think they're time consuming. They're really not. God forbid, even if you have to buy it in a can, or a little box. There are little box ones I like better, but, All right. Well, I will open up to Q&A. Hopefully you guys have all jumped in and started to join in. If you have any comments on that, or you have more questions on that, let's talk about it. because our food is not good right now. And we wonder why we're not getting valuable changes by implementing some of these all-in-one diet types things. And it's because we're not giving our body nutrition. This food should be about nutrition, right? You put gas in your car to get it somewhere. The quality of the gas can change. The quality of your food can change, right? What plant-based cheese do you recommend? I like Treeline. I don't use it very often. Just because I don't really see the need to use it really often. I eat a lot of nuts, but if I'm doing something that I'm trying to replace, like if I'm doing like a pasta, like a gluten-free pasta, and I want to do some sort of like cheesy sauce for some reason that I can't quite reproduce with the cashew cream sauce, or I use Treeline. They have a goat version. Their softer cheeses are the ones I like. But Treeline's one of my favorites. I have played with Mycoyos, and those have some pretty decent ones as well. Yeah, I don't do any of the ones that you would get your standard grocery store. I definitely have to go to Whole Foods or Sprouts to get the cheeses. And you know what? You can actually make, what I do most of the time, honestly, for cheese is I make my own cashew cream sauce in my Vitamix blender, which is literally cashews. Now, if you're allergic to nuts, oops, but cashews, water, a little nutritional yeast, and then if you want to add spices to it. So if I want to make it more Italian, I might add an Italian blend spice. If I want to make it more on a Mexican flair, I might add some chipotle or some cumin or some chili powder or something like that. If I want to make it more, Thai or Indian or whatnot, I might add curry, or I might add even some kimchi to it, or, some red chili paste of some sort to give it more flavor. So what's cool about a cashew cream sauce is you can actually morph it into any cream sauce. You could do cilantro and avocado and make it into a guacamole type sauce. That actually works better, and it's way cheaper than buying fake cheese. Any plant-based food places you recommend at Disney World? I've never been to Disney World. Now at Disneyland, this is what I do. I talk to the chef. I do not just give in to their plant-based meal. Now, I went to Blue Bayou just a few weeks ago. They had a plant-based meal. It was freaking awesome. It was a plant-based pesto. It had a homemade, it wasn't like a fake cheese. It wasn't like a diet. It was a nut-based garlic, basil type pesto over a gluten-free noodle. And then it had all these roasted vegetables, and it was awesome. I didn't have to make any accommodations. I went to another restaurant and all they had was the Impossible Burger. So I called the chef over and said, I can't eat the Impossible Burger. I need a vegan meal that's gluten-free, that's actual food. What can you do? And you know what they did? They made me this incredible gluten-free mushroom pizza. We didn't even put any fake cheese on it because I said, I don't even want fake cheese. I just want something. And I know it sounds crazy. You're like, mushroom pizza with no cheese. It was so good. First of all, the crust was totally artisan. I had to ask her 3 times if it was gluten-free. And it was, because I had no reaction. And she did like 4 different types of sauteed mushrooms and like herbs. And I think there were some tomatoes and stuff on top of it. It was awesome. It is not on the menu, right? I also had her modify a lot of the salads because a lot of the dressings on the salads had dairy in them. And so she made my own meal. So here's the thing about that. Disney is ridiculously accommodating to allergies and food things. So you just have to ask. The little snacks, like you can get the little fruit, all around the parks, you can always get like apples or bananas or whatever. But I just brought my own. I just brought little bars that I could munch on in line, little packs of trail mix, things like that. You can do that when you travel too. But Disney is one of the best places for allergies, actually. And I can't imagine that Disney World is any different. Maybe it is with California versus Florida, but I had absolutely no trouble. In fact, I was well fed, no reactions, had a great time in Disneyland, ate some of the best food. And my son was like, yours looks better than mine. I'm like, yeah, I know. Right? So I hope that helps. Okay, I had some other questions here I'm going to jump into, I promise. Okay. All right. Just want to make sure I catch up on anything we've already talked about. Then I'm going to jump into the new questions. I'll have to try that kind. Fake meats are full of inflammatory, right? Corey says, your thoughts on eating high quality, low sodium deli meat like Boar's Head? It's Friday. Going to have fun on Friday night. It has been well documented. And I'm just going to state the research that processed lunch meats have a higher likelihood of cancer development in the future. It's been well documented multiple times. Anything that's a processed meat. Boar's head, I have no doubt, has some sort of preservative in it. Now, how do you get around that? Sometimes, like I know if you, and I'm not a huge meat eater, so this isn't a great area for me, but I can tell you my husband eats meat. And so when I go to Whole Foods, I try to get the actual, like when they have like a roasted chicken or they have actual turkey breast, I usually do that. Yes, it's a little bit drier, doesn't last as long from what I'm told, but it's not the processed meat. We also started using our sous vide and making chicken in the sous vide on Sundays and then chilling it. You could flash ice bath it for 20 minutes and then you can keep it in the fridge. So you can heat it up or you could slice it up or you could put it fresh on sandwiches, things like that. I would lean more towards that. The more processed meats you eat, the higher incidences of cancer. Now, granted, there are other factors involved, right? Inflammatory levels, genetics, lifestyle, whatnot, if you're a really active person. But for me, if you can avoid putting toxins in, you should, as much as you can within limits, right? So, are any of the plant-based burgers okay? Aaron, No Bull, Nobull, and actual veggies are two pretty good ones. I like those quite a bit. There's others too, but those are ones I order regularly and they're fairly readily available. I think that's kind of more the key. Can you find them? All right. We're all in different stages in life with body changes, hormonal changes. Exactly. And therefore one diet doesn't fit everyone, but it has been well documented that actual plant focused medicine, like not fake meats, but that actual variety of nutrients, whole organic plants, have lower inflammation levels in the body, right? And that's not to say that there aren't certain meats that also can lower inflammation, like fresh fish and things. There are. But historically, the research very much favors eating plants in some way, even if it's a part of a variety of a diet. May not be the only source, but they need to be in there, in my opinion. And Naya's adding on to the deli meats over there for you. Exactly. She says deli meats usually have nitrates or nitrates, and nitrates or nitrites, and they usually have carcinogen, which is very inflammatory and carcinogenic. Yes. And that is also found in a lot of the fake cheeses. And that's my issue. You've got a known carcinogen in some of the fake cheeses. Right? And your whole goal, I'm guessing, of going the whole goal of anyone going plant-based is never because they're like, woohoo, I want to go plant-based, except maybe me. Most of the time you're doing it for health reasons. So if you're doing it for health reasons, make sure you're actually, being healthy. That's important. How to get rid of sugar cravings. I'll tell you, people who do my total energy turnaround program, usually within a couple of weeks, don't have sugar cravings anymore. And what is it that we do? We really look at nutrition focused meals, which is exactly what I'm talking about. Getting a wide variety of plants in there, getting enough protein, getting enough nutrients in the body where the body isn't craving a quick fix, calming the body down from stress, getting it moving. Simple lifestyle medicine will absolutely get rid of sugar cravings. And I have multiple people who've gone through my program and would speak up on that immediately. They didn't believe me in the beginning. And then they were like, wow, okay, yeah, I'm not craving sugar anymore. It's really important. The reason, think about why you crave sugar. There's usually two reasons. One, there's an emotional connection to the item, which is something you can block right now. You have the power. You could say, nope, that no longer gives me joy, and not do it. Right? Or there's a physiological drawing to the sugar because you're trying to get quick energy out of it. Your body's like, oh my God, I'm running from here. Oh my God, I'm running. I don't have enough nutrients. I'm not going to make it. I need something to eat right now. And it reaches for the sugar. It's one of those two situations almost every single time, right? Now, maybe your insulin's a little bit high. That would be the second scenario. The body's like, oh, I need sugar. It becomes an urgent scenario, right? Where the body goes into a fight or flight and says, I need this right now. So in order to fix that, you have to give it the nutrition that keeps the blood sugar stable for long periods of time. And you have to lower that bear. You have to lower that mindset, the urgency mindset, the fight or flight response. And that is what I do with all of my clients, but definitely in my online programs as well. So if you're interested in the Total Energy Turnaround Program, I do have a wait list up for the next round. You can go to my link in bio. You can also just reach out to Angela at my office and ask her what the options are and what are the next steps and when's the next program and things like that. We haven't picked an exact date, but it will be in the next few months sometime. We're finishing up. We're in the middle of a round right now in a group. So I don't have another one running right now. Good morning, Tara. How are you? Thank you. All right. Okay, let's see. This is another question. Thank you. I love all the fire. I love it when I can make things. I was in a Zoom meeting the other day, and I don't know if any of you know, but I did something like this, and all these fireworks went off around me, and I can't figure out what I did. And my team was laughing at me because yesterday I was going like this, trying to figure out how to make it happen because I had said something really exciting, and I was like, "Come on, where are they at?" And they wouldn't come. I don't know. Someone's going to have to teach me all these little things, but I love all the fire and I like it. I see it all. You guys can't see that over here on LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook, but on Instagram, there's all this fire going up and things like that. It's kind of fun. I love it. If on no medication, is dandelion root safe to take in small doses? Dandelion root is a great option for general liver health. Now, obviously, I am not your physician. I'm speaking to you about dandelion in an educational way. Please never take me saying that it's generally safe, that it's safe for you. You may have to go to your doctor and make sure. There are some interactions. Number one, though, on this, I do have an article on dandelion on my website. I highly recommend you take a look at it. It talks about all the research surrounding dandelion. One of my favorite herbs for sure. I definitely use it in combination, typically with milk thistle and burdock root, and often with stress reduction herbs. Why? Why would I give dandelion root in conjunction with stress reducing? Because the liver clears toxins when your body is calm. The liver does not clear toxins when your body is hyper or stressed or in fight or flight. So if you combine liver support with cortisol support, you can actually get more benefit. Your body takes out the garbage at rest. So put the body at rest, put in the liver support. That's what I do most of the time. And that's using a combination of herbs. There's an art to it, but I love dandelion root. The root is fantastic for liver health. The leaf is fantastic for fluid balance. So if you're someone who's looking for a more natural type diuretic, once again, talk to your doctor, okay? I'm not giving this as a prescription. I'm just telling you in general. The leaf's mechanism of action helps reduce water. That can make you dehydrated. So make sure you pay attention to that. The root looks more at liver health and improving the liver, which is essential because we're all toxic. Whether we like it or not, we all have some level of toxicity. And if we're stressed, we have more toxicity than we need to, right? Even at low level exposure. If we're not clearing things, we're going to be more toxic. We don't clear things when we're under stress. We just don't. Rest and digest. Fight or flight. So get out of fight or flight, get to rest and digest, and then add liver support. Does that help? Do you have a favorite low maintenance houseplant? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This is the most low. I'm going to show you. This is the most low maintenance plant I have. This is one I just propagated from another one. So it's kind of thin right now. The snake plant. Literally, I don't have to do anything. And then you can periodically just take some out and plant it, plant the roots. I also have been propagating my fig, my fiddle leaf fig, which has been ridiculously easy. I just chop it off, put it it takes about 6 to 8 weeks in water and start to develop new roots and replant it. But the snake plant, hands down. And there's also a benefit to the snake plant. It helps remove toxins. It cleans the air. It literally, I can't kill it if I try. I even have this dead leaf here that looks dead and I can't even pull it out. Oh, there we go. Finally, I need to get it out of there. I mean, it's literally stuck. It's so strong and hardy. It's still stuck in the base. So yeah, absolutely. Those would be some of my starting ones. There's a bunch of others too that are really easy, but those two I've found to be easy. I've heard mixed reviews on the fig, but figs like the right kind of light and I have it in a window and I just thought, why don't I start snipping things off and see if I can get it to give me more figs. So now I have 3 fig trees out of 1. Kind of cool. I have a participant here saying, I've done your program and yes, it will rid of sugar cravings. There's your proof right there. Tell us why. Maybe you have a certain experience. Share it. So Dr. Trudy, what about fake meat, Beyond Meat? No, Beyond Meat is awful. Read the label. Like, it's awful. There is nothing natural about Beyond Meat. And it's weird because I do see a lot of people out there saying, oh my gosh, when you go vegan, you get healthy. Here, take Impossible and Beyond and whatnot. I'm like, no, no, no. I think the Beyond one is a pea protein isolate or something and a bunch of chemicals, right? I mean, read the label. You know, when I read the ones that I buy, which are Actual Veggies and Noble's like lentils, black beans, you know, kale, carrots, and that's like it, right? If you ever made your own veggie burger, I actually have a recipe on my website for a homemade veggie burger. So easy. Literally, you take like a binder, so it could be rice or quinoa or beans or whatever. You mash it up, you put in whatever veggies you want, you make patties out of it, and you're done. You could freeze those patties and then just fry them up when you're ready. I think also the cookbook, I think it's, is it Happy Healthy Vegan? Kathy Pulaski. I can't remember. She has one too, where she has like like all the possible, there's like 4 different components to a veggie burger. And she has like all these different options, right? Because you need something sticky, right? You need some vegetables. So you just kind of put it together, make little balls, flat it down. You could spend, you know, 30 minutes on a Sunday and make 50 patties and freeze them. It'd be 1, more cost effective, 2, far more ingredient dense, and 3, far more health benefit. Yeah. Noble? I don't know of the Noble veggie burger. I have to look that up. Oh, Noble. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Nobull, 2 words. Noble. You can get them at Whole Foods. And Actual Veggies is one you can get to. I know you can order that online. There's actually quite a few of them. Those are the 2 that are the most readily available that I find. Because look, I'm busy too. I can't always make my own veggie burgers, but I'll tell you, every time I've made them, they've been freaking phenomenal, you know? But yeah, Beyond Burgers, no. Impossible Burger, no. All this fake chicken. Nothing drives me more crazy than when I see, oh my gosh, there's a new vegan restaurant that popped up here in Phoenix. And I like run down there and it's all fake meat. I'm like, and they're like, healthy food. I'm like, no, it's not. This is fast food vegan. You might as well just put a McDonald's sign in front of you, right? And I don't mean to be harsh, but really read the ingredients. I mean, I'd much rather have you eat a grass-fed hamburger than a Beyond Burger or a Impossible Burger, because you're going to get more nutrients out of the meat, right? I mean, our body needs nutrients. We eat to feed our body, right? Often we make choices to feed our mind, but we really need to feed our body, right? That's why we eat, you know? But you're welcome, Dr. Trudy Ann. Nice to see you. Thoughts on falafel? I love falafel. Here is what I have found with falafel. Do you guys know what falafel is, everyone? A falafel is a fava bean based fried patty. Okay, that basically it's in a Mediterranean type diet. Okay, love falafel, but a true falafel is very different than a fake falafel. And I find a lot of the falafels do have wheat in them. I find some of them have dairy, which is not traditional. Traditionally, they are gluten-free because they are made out of fava bean, right? And vegetables. So definitely read the labels on falafels, ask restaurants what's in them. But if you can get a true falafel made out of fava beans, absolutely. I actually, is it called So Good? I get them from frozen in the frozen section at Whole Foods. I think they're called So Good. They have falafel patties and I keep them in my freezer and I bake them in my air fryer so that I don't have to, you know, fry them in the oil. And I put them on my salads for lunch as my protein. You can put them in sandwiches. Falafel's awesome. Yeah. If you tolerate beans, you're good to go. All right. I had another question on mitochondria. So let's talk about that for a second. We could always come back. And I do that with the Noble burgers, by the way, too, and the Actual Veggies. I make a salad for lunch. I put my nuts on it. I usually put some berries, like maybe I usually do blueberries. I like to make my own dressings. I know that sounds labor intensive. It isn't. Grab a jelly jar or something once a week, fill it with some oils, some apple cider vinegar, some lemon juice. You know, sometimes I'll even put like fruit in there. Like sometimes I'll blend it up with strawberries or something like that. Fill it up and just use it throughout the week. It's a 30-second chore that will cover you for the week, right? Or you could do a balsamic or whatever. But I'll do whatever my base is. Sometimes I'll do rice or quinoa with some steamed veggies, or sometimes I'll just do a salad and I'll put the veggie burger on top of it for the protein. A good one, not a fake one. Naya said the snake plant is a great oxygen producer. It is. Yeah, and it's very easy to take care of. Steve is asking about mitochondrial energy. And this is a great question because have you guys all heard of the mitochondria and what they are? They're how we produce energy. Bottom line, if you had a production line and you were trying to produce a product, you would need to move the product down the line, right? Takes energy to lift the product up, move it, whatever. That is what the mitochondria does. It moves oxygen down a chain in order to produce energy to be able to do something else, whatever that may be, repair cells, run our hormones, digest our food, wake up in the morning, grow our hair, whatever we need, right? It's produced from the mitochondria, right? There are a lot of nutrients involved in this process, which is why nutrient-dense foods are so important for the mitochondria, because if it goes to make what it needs to make and it can't because it doesn't have the right nutrients, that's a problem. The biggest issue that we're seeing right now in the healthcare space with mitochondria is that they are being damaged. They're being damaged by external toxins, endocrine disruptors, viruses. Huge issue over our more recent virus and its impact on the mitochondria and its ability to produce energy. We're seeing a lot of this in people with long viral syndromes. Their mitochondria has been damaged. So very, very important point. You cannot age well without proper mitochondria. You can't do certain things without proper mitochondrial function. Probably one of the most important things to support. How do we support it? Outside of just the general lifestyle measures, which 100% help, there are ways that you can support it supplement wise. Now, right now, I'm only offering that type of thing through my clients, but using basically a carbon-based technology in order to feed the mitochondria to cleanse out the body of the toxins that are causing a problem to the mitochondria, viruses, parasites, toxins, external toxins, internal toxins, imbalances in the body, and things like that. Treating the mitochondria is a holistic approach. It's not always simple as take a supplement for mitochondria. There was a lot of research or a lot of people that were coming out during the pandemic saying, well, there's a particular supplement. I think the name is escaping me right now, but they were like, take this, it'll heal your mitochondria. No, it won't. There's so much more involved with that, right? So it might be a piece of the puzzle, not the whole puzzle. So if any of you, and I've been talking to my clients about this lately, if any of you have gotten to a point where you're like, okay, I've done a lot. I've put my health up there. I've been taking care of myself, but I'm still not where I want to be, or I feel like I've hit a plateau, or I'm not quite where I want to be, but I don't really know what to do. That is when I go in and say, okay, we need to go in and do a deep dive into the cellular level, which is looking at the mitochondria, looking at the way that nutrients are impacting energy, and really doing an overhaul of that and removing the things that are blocking the production of energy. And that's a deep dive. And that's what I do with my clients. So if you're at that point, you're like, okay, yep, I need to do this. I'm ready. Like, reach out to Angela, talk about what the options are. Because, that's my favorite thing to do, is to level people up, right? Because we can only get so far on our own. And I also want to mention, I've talked to a lot of people recently that, they're like, oh, I have these symptoms. And we're like, oh, how's your stress? And they're like, oh, life is good. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I have a bunch of kids and I have football games to go to, and I have my husband and I have a job and my parents are dying and whatever. But, life is good. Being stressed doesn't mean your life isn't good. I just want to be clear on that. My life is great and I'm still stressed, right? There's good stress and bad stress. The problem is that's in our head, what we determine is good and bad stress, right? We say, oh, well, I have a lot going on. I've got a wedding, I've got a baby, I've got a bunch of kids, whatever, but it's good stress. So therefore it's not impacting my health. That is not true. Good stress impacts your health just as much as what we consider bad stress. The body doesn't know the difference. But if you do not take care of it while you're still in that moment where you're like, oh, I can manage it, I think I can handle it. If you start taking care of it right now, you will prevent so many health problems, right? Versus waiting until you're so depleted that you can barely get out of bed to say, okay, now I got to deal with my stress, because then we're having to go in a really deep dive and work backwards. So for those of you out there that are like, I have these symptoms, but I'll just manage. I can just do more yoga or I'll figure it out, I really caution you to stop for a second, because the body's trying to tell you something by giving you a symptom, and it might be minor now, but it won't stay that way. And I'd like to stop it. That's my goal. I want to stop this. This is silly. We should not be getting as sick as we get. We should not. And I'm on a mission to catch people before they get there, because if we can catch people before we get that sick, we don't get sick, right? And stress is a huge component of this. Good stress, bad stress, right? Any of you feel that way? You're like, oh, my life's pretty good. I can't possibly be stressed. Anyone? You don't have to have a horrible life to have adrenal fatigue. In fact, if I were to survey all my patients, I would say the majority of my patients are high functioning, smart, hardworking, successful people, but they're still impacted. Right? Right? It's a day-to-day thing, and I can help all of you I can guide you guys there, whether it's through an online program, self-study, if you're like not ready to jump in on one-on-one. If you want to do deep dives like what Steve's asking about with mitochondrial repair and things like that, become a client. I will do it. We will do it together. I'm doing it right now. I'm actually doing a 4-month cleanse mitochondrial support protocol personally. I'm in month 2. Month 1, I was an Energizer bunny. I think my husband wanted to kill me. I had so much energy from feeding the mitochondria that it was almost to the point where it was causing stress, because I was just nonstop. I wasn't resting, right? Started the 2nd month. Now I'm kind of back down to my normal, which is good. But noticing that I definitely still have some things that need to be addressed, some little symptoms. I'm like, that's interesting. And I'm really interested to see where it goes. I think it's really important for everyone to look at their cellular health and maintain their cellular health. It's something that won't harm you to do. And if anything, could completely change your life. Yeah. Does that help, Steve? Does that make sense? I kind of went off on a tangent there, but maybe it's an important one. Maybe not. I'm stressed. Pea protein milk Ripple. I've tried it. I'm not psyched about it, just because I feel like it's still an isolate. Like, it's not like they just grind peas down. Like, they are putting it together in a chemical way. And I think there's better options for milk out there. If any of you have used an almond cow, that's my favorite appliance, where I make my own cashew milk in like 30 seconds. You can also make oat milk and almond milk and whatnot. As you know, many of the milks on the market are full of crap. So if you can make your own and make it easy to make your own, that's great. The almond cow makes it so easy to make cashew milk. The reason I don't make almond milk regularly isn't because it's not great, but just because I have to remember to soak them, and I never do. That's just me. I don't remember. I always forget. Where cashew, I can just make it right there on the spot. And in less than a minute, I have fresh cashew milk. So that's another great tip. Steve, awesome. Awesome. I'm glad that made sense. All right. I have about 3-4 more minutes. If you guys have any questions, I think I caught up on questions. Any of you new here? Has this been helpful to any of you? I want to ask you guys, especially those that show up regularly, what do you feel about me bringing some guests on? Anyone interested in that? I know many of you are parents. I thought it might be interesting to have a pediatric guest that talks about natural options for kids. I thought that might be a really cool idea. And maybe we could have a conversation more about stress and kids and what our kids are going through. As a parent, it kills me what kids are going through. And if there's any other types of guests you would like, I have a good friend who's a naturopathic oncologist. He's come on in the past. I have quite a few people I could bring on, actually, in pretty much any discipline. And so if there are certain types of guests you would love to see and you'd like me to try to bring some on, I'm very open to that. I thought it might be kind of fun to do a series of guests. You should do a podcast. I'd love to do a podcast. It is on my list. Right now, it's a time-consuming thing. These lives are kind of the intro to the podcast. I'm trying to see what I can do. I can't go onto a podcast and do a Q&A every single week because it's not live. So these are live. But if I can get good guests and you think that I would be a great host for that, any topics, guests, things that you guys would like, do me a favor, email. Contact@drpingle.com or go to my website and put it in. Tell me what you'd like. I think it would be great, right? We have Naya saying, love, love, love my almond cow. I use it multiple times per week. Cashew milk is my favorite to make. Mine too. I love the idea of guests. Yes, great idea. I would love to have a therapist guest. Oh, yeah. I just did a podcast too with Dr. Akina Stein, who's a functional psychologist. That was a good one if you're looking for a good mental health one. But I could have her on, right? There is a wellness center opening up locally that will offer IG injections for vitamins. Your thoughts again on this? I love IV therapy if it's done correctly. I think it's a great option. I think it needs to be utilized more. The question is, are they following the standards and do they know what they're doing? Those are the things that, vet them out. But I definitely love those options. Yeah, I do them for sure. Dean Schurzy Brain Health. Okay, hang on. I have a couple of brain health specialists as well that I know. I don't know that one, so I'm going to write them down. Just Ingredients. Are these people you're asking me to have on? Got it. Or you know what? If it's a certain person, you can tag them in the thread. And I will look at tags as well. Perimenopause. Yep. Yeah, I was a guest on Dr. Tabitha Barber's podcast fairly recently, the Gutsy Gynecologist, and I would definitely bring her on for sure. I love talking with her, and we could dive into perimenopause for sure. Lots of guests. So Power Fridays with Dr. Pingle. Thank you for enriching our lives. Oh, thanks. Hey, you guys have been great. And if you were new here and you found this helpful, share it with your friends, tag your friends, have them watch it, have them show up. I am here every single Friday for the most part. Thank you, Fit20. I see your suggestions here. I'm writing them down. I am here every Friday. Happy to be here. Off topic, your nails look great. Okay. Quick story. So I never paint my nails. You want to know why? Not because of the toxins, although that's a huge reason. This is a mineral based. This is not a toxin based. That's one of the reasons I tried it. I chip my fingers. I am really handy. I am always moving furniture, painting things, scrubbing things, lifting things off. Like I pull things off things with my nails. Like I am like a guy in that respect. Like I'm always using my hands, always. And so whenever I get a manicure, literally, I've tried everything. Like even back in the day when I did acrylics, I still couldn't even keep it. They chip almost immediately. And I won't do acrylics because I don't want the toxins. I won't do the gel because I don't want the toxins, right? Everyone's like, do those. No. So I found this new, I was trying out a new nail polish. It's a mineral based polish. And I was like, oh, I'll put it on. So I put it on yesterday. So it's still okay, but I give it till tomorrow. We'll see. And my husband says to me yesterday, he goes, why'd you paint your nails white? And I said, well, they're not white. They're actually blue. They're like a light blue, like an ice blue. And I said, but I really like having my nails done. And he's like, well, I never see you get your nails done. So it's weird. And I said, no, I actually love having my nails done, but I can't keep it. And so he thought it was so weird that my nails are done. And so I'm determined to try not to chip these for at least 5 days, but I can say by tomorrow, I'll probably have one fingernail already gone. I turned on a propane tank last night to use my Blackstone grill to saute up some vegetables. And when I turned it, one of my nails hit the side and I got a little bump in it. Like it's nonstop. Nonstop. So thank you. This might be the only time you see my nails painted. What's the nail polish brand? This was one from Whole Foods. Is it Total Mineral or something mineral? It was a really simple one. I have heard of Dazzle Dry. My concern is like literally, even when I've done the toxic ones, they don't last. So like I highly doubt, but maybe I'll try it. Love your energy and genuine enthusiasm. Thank you. I so appreciate it. Good morning. Okay. Thank you for your time and knowledge today. Yeah. So nice to see all of you. I will see you next week, same time, same place. Thank you for your wonderful questions. Thank you for following me. Oh, a lot of you asked for the lab list. On one of my recent posts, I added it to my link in bio as well. That's been a popular thing. And so thank you so much for downloading it. A lot of you have been downloading it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can check out my link in bio. I do have stuff there on all platforms, I think, except YouTube. But Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn all have a bunch of different stuff on my link in bio as far as the programs I offer, how to contact my office, any, if I have a lab list or something special thing I'm doing, my supplement store, those types of things. So if you're new here and you want to learn more about me, you can always head there. You can head to my website, tons and tons of articles there, free of cost, information. Read them, come back next week. Let's talk about them. So happy to have all of you here. And thank you so much for taking time out of your morning to be with me. I'll see you next week.